He projects a true economic trajectory underpinned by a success that eclipsed that of his contemporaries. With that air of confidence, President Jammeh touched down at Heneda, together with the First Lady, Her Excellency Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh, and a strong delegation of government and private sector officials. He formed the headlines from the word go in matching the Ticket story with the reality that existed before its formation.
Now I call upon President Yama of the Gambia.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Co-chairs, Your Excellencies, Presidents and heads of delegations, on behalf of the delegation of the Gambia, I want to take this opportunity to thank our great host, the people of Japan, through their formidable Prime Minister, for organizing TCAD and for the warm welcome extended to us. Japan has been one principal assistant to the Gambia that has helped so many African countries out of poverty without any strings attached, for which we are grateful and indebted to Japan. The theme is robust and sustainable development. Mr. Chairman, I believe that for the fundamental principle of maintaining a robust and sustainable economy is premised on the ability to control what you produce and be able to fix prices. Most of us in Africa today are merely producers of raw materials for which the true benefit and value of our products are enjoyed by the North that process it. So in order for us to have a robust and sustainable economy, agro-industrialization and processing is indispensable. Our host, Japan, which is a highly industrialized country, can work with the African Union and Africa as well through TCAD to bring such technologies that will conform to Africa's produce, so that our raw materials can be processed in Africa, so that we would be able to have the right to be independent from the world market. You know the World Bank, the headquarters of the World Bank, but the World Bank doesn't fix prices for Africa's produce or the produce of the third world. The invisible world market every year forecasts prices for raw materials from Africa. You will realize that most countries that buy African raw materials, especially agricultural, those companies that process African agricultural produce, like coffee for example, are wealthier than all African coffee producing countries put together. How is that possible? So in order to have an economy that is robust and sustainable, but also beneficial to the people of Africa, industrialization is indispensable. Value addition is indispensable. Thank God Japan is a highly industrialized country. We should work with TICAD and other institutions affiliated to TICAD and Japan to produce such technologies that can be used in even rural areas for processing and value addition of African produce. When we have that, then we will be able to have sustainable economies. Most of us have robust economies, but it's not sustainable because the determining factor is not in our hands. For African farmers to be as wealthy as European farmers, they must be in a position to be able to price their produce. Since what we produce is exported as raw, the indomitable world market fixes the price, and when it is processed, sends it back at a different price, take it or leave it. Unless we are independent of this invisible world market, we will not be able to have sustainable economy. We may have robust economy, but sustainability is out of the question, and we will not be able to extricate ourselves from abject poverty. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
The Tokyo International Conference on African Development was founded by Japan and a number of international partners 20 years ago to help boost economic development across the continent. But the Africa of 1993, when TICAD first met, is not the Africa of today, and Japan will have to evolve with these ever-changing dynamics in order to respond to the continent's needs more effectively.
Looking at the genesis of TICAD, it came about at a time when our former colonial masters abandoned us, thinking that we are worthless. Japan found it fitting to bring us and resuscitate African continent to a point where, from a continent of hopelessness to a continent of great future and a moving continent. That being said and done, I think many of my generation would agree with me that most Africans, the first electronic watch they ever wore is a Japanese-made electronic watch. And most of us, the first camera we ever had were also first cameras made in Japan. Mr. Chairman, this dialogue is very important because most of the Japanese products, in fact, every African village that you go to, it is most likely that the electronic gadget that you find there would be made in Japan. Unfortunately, these products are sold by companies that are non-Japanese. So we have a problem where even the vehicles, I think most of the younger generation of Africans that are here with me, people of my generation I mean, the first pickup they ever boarded would have been a Japanese pickup. But unfortunately, these are being sold by people that are not even African in the first place, and not Japanese certainly. So we have a problem of after-sales service, which is a major problem. So we welcome the fact that Japanese companies should really come to Africa, because we've been buying, Africa is